Which kind?
Here it is. So for number 25, we're doing a write the slope intercept form for the equation. All you got to do is solve for y. Okay? So when we're doing this, this is obviously our given. Okay? Because it was written for us. And then from there, you're going to go to the next step. I want to solve for y. All I'm going to do is minus 4x. Now I cannot subtract x from a number, right? So I can't say 6 minus 4x is 2x. That doesn't work. So what these x's cancel. This y I kind of move over here. I'll bring this equals over, and this comes straight over here also, so that this can come down. And then this would be plus, because there's actually a hidden plus sign right there. A question, Tristan?
Never mind.
Okay. So this is going to be a plus 6, right? So all I'm doing here, for as far as we're concerned, is I'm doing two sides. So it's sad map. I'm actually subtracting. So it's SA, right? So I'm subtracting on it. Later on in geometry, you're going to learn that that's subtraction property of equality. But for us, it's either subtraction or addition. Either one comes up. Thank you. Okay, and then from there, I can graph it. But this is all we're asking for on number 25. This is your answer. You don't have to graph it. Okay? But it's an easy one to graph. Just remember, b equals 6 and m equals negative 4 over 1. So that means I would start at 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That would be my starting point. Then I would go down 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And right 1, 1. And that would be my slope and my line. Okay? Pretty easy. Moving on. They want you to write a slope intercept form, okay, of this with this information. Now, a lot of times they teach you what's called point slope. It's a whole nother equation, right, to figure it out. You don't have to do that. We need two things to graph, right? M and B. And right now, we know what M is. This is M, right? So, all I need is B. So I throw it in my equation. So I say this is given, right? And I know that my equation is y equals mx plus b. And that's the definition of linear equations, right? And from there, I can substitute, right? So this is x, this is y. So 3 goes in for y. M is negative 2/7, right? X is 5. And this is not a nice problem at all, right? This one doesn't cancel out like one of the other problem does, right? But it's still easy. Now I have 3 is equal to negative 10. Remember, this is 5 over 1. So the 5 times the 2, negative 10 over 7, right? And then I have plus b. And I just want to solve for b. Oh, by the way, what did we do here? We just simplified, right, by doing PIMDAS, one side of the equation, right? And so these created this. So we're doing addition, subtraction? No. Multiplication, division? Yes. So MD with the arrow on top, right? Okay. Oh, sorry. We substituted, that's why I don't have a green. All right, here we go. We're going to keep going. I'm going to move this over. So how do I move this? I had the opposite, right? So the opposite of minus 10/7 is plus 10/7. So I'm going to go plus 10 over 7. Now that cancels this out, right? But that's kind of difficult. How do I add 10/7 on this side? And so what I do is I break it down again. I say, well, how many times does 7 go into 10? It goes in one time, right? With 3 left over, the 7, okay? So now when I add, it's a lot easier. So sometimes I want to use what's called an improper fraction, and sometimes I want to use what's called mixed fraction, right? And so that helps us in our adding. And in this case, I just add the two whole numbers. 3 plus 1 is 4, right? So it's going to be 4 and 3/7 is equal to B. Now I know what B is. I know what M is, right? So I just plug it into the y equals mx plus b equation. So now I don't have to rewrite this. I already have it. So I can start with y equals x. And all I need to plug in is m and b. So I have m is negative 2/7. And I have b is plus 4 and 3/7. And that is the equation. Now you don't have to graph it, but I'm going to show you, even though it has this 4 and 3/7, it's not hard to graph, okay? We're just going to look at this graph and go, where is 4 and 3/7? So 3/7 is a little bit less than 4/8, right? A little less than a half. So I'm just going to go up to 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and look at about halfway through, okay? And that's where my B is. So that means that's where my big dot is. And then my slope is negative 2/7. So it's down 2, right, over 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And that's my slope. Okay? If you were to graph it. And that's it. Okay? All right. There's those two problems. We'll post those in a minute.